Tyson. Excellent, Mike. Excellent, Mike. Well, you break him. Unpredictable. Exactly, Mike. Beautiful roll, Mike. Excellent. Excellent.
Mike Tyson's showdown with Jake Paul has ended in a way no one expected, with the boxing icon now in serious condition. The fight itself was intense, but it's what happened afterward that has everyone on edge. What went wrong, and how did the aftermath take such a dramatic turn? Was Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul even legal? The much-hyped clash between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul didn't just disappoint, it left fans questioning what they had just watched. And no, it wasn't just Netflix's streaming issues that ruined the experience. 58-year-old Tyson looked every bit his age, moving sluggishly and far from his former self. On the other side, Jake Paul, the 27-year-old YouTuber turned boxer, openly admitted to pulling his punches. "I wanted to give the fans a show, but I didn't want to hurt someone that didn't need to be hurt," Paul confessed post-fight. For fans and bettors expecting a real competition, it felt like a bait and switch. 7 states had already refused to allow betting on the fight, citing the match's unusual rules, like 2-minute rounds aimed at reducing risk, as a reason it wasn't fit for wagering. But Texas and 31 other states gave it the green light, only for the fight to play out more like a casual sparring session than a serious bout. Whether you were tuning in for boxing history or hoping to cash in on a bet, this one left a sour taste. In fact, if you left the Tyson-Paul fight feeling duped, you're not alone. But where does the blame really lie? For many frustrated fans, the issue isn't just with the fighters or promoters, it's the chaotic way boxing is regulated. Unlike other major American sports, boxing doesn't have a centralized governing body. There's no commissioner, no national rules, and no standardized practices. Instead, each state does its own thing, creating a patchwork system that leaves fans and fighters at the mercy of inconsistent decisions. This isn't a new problem. Back in the early 20th century, when sports like baseball were becoming professionally organized, boxing was busy dodging bans from states worried about its violent nature and ties to shady activities like illegal gambling and match fixing. Those unsavory connections gave the sport a bad rep and left it without the structure most other sports enjoy today. So what's the fix? Many believe boxing needs a national commission to enforce consistent rules, protect fighters, and ensure fans get the competitive bouts they pay for. Without that, mismatches and questionable events like Tyson versus Paul are bound to keep happening. Back in 1920, New York decided to clean up the messy world of boxing by passing the nation's first boxing law. This groundbreaking legislation required a physician at every fight and created the New York State Athletic Commission to oversee the sport. They even made sure everyone involved in a fight, from the boxers to the promoter to the guy holding the spit bucket, had to be licensed. Sounds like progress, right? It was. But as other states followed suit and created their own commissions, a new set of problems emerged. With multiple regulators running the show, there's no unified standard, and that's where things get messy. The subjective nature of judging fights makes it alarmingly easy for shady figures, fighters, promoters, even organized crime, to manipulate outcomes through bribery and match fixing. And if you think these issues are ancient history, think again. As recently as the 1990s, fighters banned by one state for health or other reasons could just pack up and get licensed somewhere else. No questions asked. This patchwork system has allowed the sport's darker side to thrive, and it leaves fans wondering if what they're watching is fair or rigged. Is it time for a unified national body to step in, or will boxing's decentralized chaos always be part of its DNA? In 1996, Congress tried to tackle boxing's regulatory chaos by passing federal legislation, later reforming it in 2000 with the Muhammad Ali Boxing Reform Act. The goal? To improve the state-based system without outright replacing it. These laws brought some much-needed changes, including minimum health and safety standards, mutual recognition of medical suspensions across states, standard contract terms, and a uniform licensing and registration system. On paper, it looked like a big win for fairness and fighter safety. But the catch here is that nobody was put in charge of enforcing these rules. Without any real oversight, compliance has been patchy at best and often outright ignored. A glaring example is how older fighters continue to get licensed for dangerous bouts against much younger opponents. The rules are often adjusted to make these fights seem safer, but the reality says otherwise. Case in point, in 2021, 58-year-old Evander Holyfield took a fight against 44-year-old Vitor Belfort on just a week's notice. California's Athletic Commission refused to license Holyfield, citing concerns for his safety. So, what did the promoters do? They moved the fight to Florida, which approved it. The result? Holyfield didn't even last a round, and the fight was widely condemned as a travesty. If Evander Holyfield's 2021 fight caused outrage, Mike Tyson stepping into the ring at 58 isn't much better. Just months before his bout with Jake Paul, Tyson suffered a bleeding ulcer and shed 26 pounds. Despite these red flags, the fight went ahead in Texas, a state with a reputation for being more lenient with athletic commissions. The decision to sanction the fight raised serious concerns, especially considering that 7 states outright refused to allow betting on it. Their stance spoke volumes about the risks involved and the broader lack of agreement on whether aging heavyweights should be fighting at all. So how do we prevent another situation like this? A National Boxing Commission could be the answer. Such a body would enforce uniform standards for licensing, safety, and competition, creating consistency that the sport desperately needs. This isn't a new idea. Senators John McCain and Harry Reid, both former boxers, championed legislation in the early 2000s to create a national commission. The proposed bill aimed to bring order and safety to boxing, but despite their efforts, it never passed. With fights like Tyson versus Paul reigniting debates about safety and regulation, maybe it's time to revisit this idea. Maybe it's time for Congress to dust off the gloves and take another swing at boxing reform. Sure, the federal government has bigger fish to fry, but let's be real. Getting involved in sports has never been off their radar. From baseball's steroid scandals to the NFL's concussion policies, Congress has stepped in before, and there's no reason to think it won't do so again. Boxing, with its messy patchwork of rules and safety concerns, feels like a prime candidate for attention. With boxing already under scrutiny, Tyson's unexpected health crisis brought a shocking twist to his return to the ring. A terrifying health crisis. Mike Tyson's return to the ring came with more than a few hurdles, including a terrifying health crisis leading up to his fight with Jake Paul. In the Netflix documentary Countdown: Paul vs. Tyson, Tyson opened up about the ordeal that almost derailed the match. He shared how everything seemed fine during training until he suddenly started feeling unusually tired. He mentioned explaining his symptoms to his trainer, saying he just didn't feel right. Things took a sharp turn for the worse on his flight to Texas. While on the plane, Tyson experienced severe symptoms, including vomiting blood and passing dark, tar-like stool. After being rushed to the hospital, doctors discovered a large bleeding ulcer, 2.5 inches wide. Tyson revealed that the situation was so serious that his friends thought he might not survive. When he asked the doctor if he was going to die, the response wasn't exactly reassuring, but the medical team assured him they had treatment options. Despite the scare, Tyson was determined to return to training as soon as possible, saying he couldn't wait to fight again. It was a harrowing experience, but one that didn't stop the legendary boxer from stepping into the ring. You see, Mike Tyson didn't just step into the ring with Jake Paul, he fought through some seriously scary stuff to even get there. Turns out that bleeding ulcer was no joke. Tyson had to undergo several blood transfusions, and he shared how the doctors told him something that'll send chills down anyone's spine. He'd lost half his blood and was dangerously close to dying. He didn't sugarcoat what recovery was like either. Tyson said he dropped 25 pounds in just 11 days because he couldn't eat. Liquids only. And let's not even talk about the trips to the bathroom. Tyson admitted it was downright disgusting, saying it didn't even smell like what you'd expect anymore. Eventually, he started to recover and got back home, but that's when reality hit. All that training and fitness he'd built, gone. Tyson said his coordination and stamina were shot, and he had to basically start over from scratch. What's worse? He felt like he had been ready to fight before the ulcer derailed everything. Tyson made it back. After the fight, even though Paul took the win, Tyson jumped on X to share how thankful he was just to be healthy enough to put the gloves on again. And you know, his health scares were actually the reason for the fight to be postponed initially. Like, the showdown was first scheduled in July. However, Mike's health conditions made the officials push for a later date. Tyson explained that his doctor told him to ease up for a few weeks to recover. In his statement, he assured fans that his body was in the best shape it's been since the 1990s, and he just needed a little time to bounce back and get back to full training. Paul, for his part, was all about waiting until Tyson was fully ready. He made it clear he didn't want to fight Iron Mike unless the legend was at 100%. At the same time, Paul reminded fans that when Tyson did step into the ring, he'd be ready to claim victory with a statement finish. Leading up to the fight with Jake Paul, Tyson continuously reassured everyone about his health, saying he was in great shape. He told fans he felt beautiful and had been training consistently for a couple of weeks. Tyson sounded confident, saying he was in camp and ready to step into the ring, but not everyone was convinced. The Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, responsible for sanctioning the bout, promised to dig deep into Tyson's recent medical history. According to World Boxing News, they left the pre-fight medical testing until just one day before the match, cutting it close to say the least. The fight was ultimately sanctioned, but it came with a few notable tweaks. Tyson and Paul wore 14-ounce gloves instead of the usual 10-ounce ones for heavyweights. The rounds were trimmed to 2 minutes instead of 3, and the match was set for 8 rounds instead of the standard 10 or 12. All these changes were meant to make things a bit safer, given the circumstances. Matchroom Boxing CEO Eddie Hearn didn't hold back when sharing his thoughts on the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation decision to sanction the Tyson versus Paul fight. He criticized the move, pointing out that Mike Tyson was already struggling in the ring when he retired 20 years ago. Hearn went as far as to call it sad to watch even back then. He didn't mince words about Tyson's current condition either. Hearn argued that anyone who sees or speaks to Tyson today would realize he has no business stepping into a boxing ring at this stage in his life. He called the fight dangerous, irresponsible, and even disrespectful to the sport of boxing. And as for Jake Paul, Hearn said if he were in Paul's position, he'd honestly feel embarrassed about taking part in a match like this. Critics may question his return to boxing, but Tyson's next chapter promises a whole new kind of spotlight. What's next for Mike Tyson? Mike Tyson isn't slowing down, but his next big move might surprise you. It's not boxing, it's WWE. After the media storm around his fight with Jake Paul, Tyson's performance might not have been legendary, but it reminded everyone why they love him. The buzz seems to have opened new doors for the former champ, and now he's reportedly gearing up for WrestleMania 2025. According to reports, WWE sees Tyson's star power as a perfect fit for its biggest event of the year. Rumor has it Tyson will step into the ring to interact with Logan Paul, the younger brother of Jake Paul. Whether Tyson's throwing punches or just making appearances, fans are already excited about the idea of Iron Mike sharing the stage with Logan in the high-energy world of professional wrestling. The buzz about Mike Tyson joining WWE doesn't necessarily mean he's done with boxing. Even after looking physically drained during the fight with Jake Paul, there's speculation that Tyson might lace up his gloves again, maybe this time against someone closer to his own age. That said, stepping into the WWE ring wouldn't be entirely new for Iron Mike. Fans might remember his big involvement in WrestleMania 14, where he brought his larger-than-life presence to the wrestling world. Fast forward to 2010, and Tyson even had his first and only professional wrestling match, teaming up with Shawn Michaels to take on Triple H. According to several media outlets, WWE is seriously interested in capitalizing on the media frenzy surrounding Tyson's fight with Jake Paul. Things got even spicier when Logan Paul, after Tyson teased him with a boxing challenge, fired back by saying he'd kill him in a fight. Whether that's all talk or could lead to something big remains to be seen. This isn't Tyson's only wrestling connection, though. He's also appeared in All Elite Wrestling, WWE's main competitor in the United States, proving that his appeal goes beyond just one promotion. As for boxing, Tyson has officially turned down a proposed trilogy fight with Evander Holyfield, so it seems he's focused on exploring new opportunities, whether it's in the squared circle or the wrestling ring. Logan Paul's potential clash with Mike Tyson at WrestleMania 2025 might just be the perfect way for Paul to rebuild his standing in WWE. After starting as a celebrity guest in 2021, Paul trained seriously and made his wrestling debut at WrestleMania 38 in 2022. His star rose quickly, culminating in his winning the United States Championship. But not all fans have been thrilled with Paul's WWE career. Criticism ramped up after he began spacing out his appearances and couldn't commit to a full-time schedule despite holding the belt. This frustration boiled over when he lost his title to LA Knight at SummerSlam in August, and Paul hasn't been seen in the ring since. Even with the backlash, Paul's media influence and massive fan base make a return not only likely but logical. Pairing him with Mike Tyson, a legend with his own undeniable star power, would be a move designed to draw in both wrestling and boxing fans. But despite the speculations, Logan Paul has shut down the idea of fighting Uncle Mike Tyson. After Jake and Tyson's fight, Logan Paul made it clear he's got nothing but love for Mike Tyson, casually calling him Uncle Mike during a chat with the Daily Mail. Paul described the experience as awesome, showing plenty of respect for the boxing legend. But when asked about the possibility of stepping into the ring against Tyson, Logan wasn't having it. Shaking his head, he hinted that Tyson might be more interested in the payday than the fight itself, saying, "I think he wants money. I don't think he wants to fight me." Looks like Logan isn't ready to mix it up with Iron Mike anytime soon. Besides a possible WWE comeback, Mike Tyson is also heading back to the big screen. Just days after his fight with Jake Paul, reports surfaced that the boxing legend has landed a new acting gig in an Italian superhero film called Bunny Man. If you're thinking, wait, Tyson acts too? You're not alone. But this isn't his first rodeo in Hollywood. Fans might remember his hilarious role in 2009 movie The Hangover, where he stole scenes alongside stars like Bradley Cooper and Zach Galifianakis. He even made a cameo in the 2011 sequel The Hangover 2. Now, Tyson is stepping into the superhero genre, and while details about Bunny Man are still under wraps, the idea of Iron Mike in a superhero flick is already creating excitement. Apparently, the film revolves around a multi-millionaire superhero who fights evil while donning a rabbit mask. His mission? To avenge his sister, who tragically took her own life after being attacked, with the horrifying images of her ordeal shared online. Tyson will share the screen with James Franco, a name that hasn't been without controversy. Franco's reputation took a hit after he admitted to inappropriate relationships with students during his time teaching at an acting school. Despite the backlash, Franco is continuing to work in Hollywood, and Bunny Man seems to be his latest comeback attempt. Would you rather see Tyson square off with Logan in WWE or the boxing ring? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more.